Amen. Let's sing some songs, worship the Lord this morning. Glad you're here. When darkness tries to roll over my bones, when sorrow comes to steal the joy I own, in brokenness and pain is all I know. Oh, I won't be shaken. Oh, I won't be shaken. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. Oh, and shame no longer has a place to hide. I am not a captive to the lies. I'm not afraid to leave my past behind. No, I won't be shaken. No, I won't be shaken. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. There's power that can break off every chain. There's power that can empty out a grave. There's a resurrection power that can save. There's power in your name. Power in your name. There's power that can break off every chain. There's power that can empty out a grave. There's resurrection power that can save. There's power in your name. Power in your name. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. Yay! We are so glad you're here to worship with us this morning, to lift up the name of the Lord, and maybe learn a little something about Jesus and how we can look a little bit more like Him in everything that we say and everything that we do. There is not a man or a beast, nothing on the land or underneath, oh, nothing that could ever come between the love you have for me. I couldn't lay my head in Sheol, I couldn't make my bed at the bottom of the darkness deep, but there is not a place I could escape you. Your heart won't stop coming after me. Your heart won't stop coming after me. Your heart won't stop coming after me. There is not an angel of the stars. There is not an angel of the stars. There is not a devil in the dark. Oh, nothing that could change the way you are. Love you have for me. I could lay my head in Sheol. I could make my bed at bottom of the darkness deep, but there is not a place could escape you. Your heart won't stop coming after me. Your heart won't stop coming after me. Your heart won't stop coming after me. And I could lay my head in Sheol. I could make my bed at bottom of the darkness deep, but there is not a place I could escape you. Your heart won't stop coming after me. Your heart won't stop coming after me. Your heart won't stop coming after me. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. The night has come, and the land is dark, and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. Your heart won't stop coming after 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 me. As the Spirit was moving over the water, Spirit, come move over us. Come rest on us. Come rest on us. As the Spirit was moving over the water, Spirit, come move over us. Come rest on us. Come rest on us. So come down. Spirit, when you move, you make my heart pound. When you fill the room, you're here and I know you're moving. I'm here and I know you will feel me. Come down. Spirit, when you move, you make my heart pound. When you fill the room, you're here and I know you're moving. I'm here and I know you will feel me. As the Spirit was moving over the water, Spirit, come move over us. Come rest on us. Come rest on us. As the Spirit was moving over the water, Spirit, come move over us. Come rest on us. Come rest on us. Fire and wind, come and do it again. Open up the gates, let heaven on in. Come rest on us. Come rest on us. Fire and wind, come and do it again. Open up the gates, let heaven on in. Come rest on us. Come rest on us. So come down. Spirit, when you move, you make my heart pound. When you fill the room, you're here and I know you're moving. I'm here and I know you will feel me. Come down. Spirit, when you move, you make my heart pound. When you fill the room, you're here and I know you're moving. I'm here and I know you will feel me. Holy Spirit, come rest on us. You're all we want. You're all we want. Holy Spirit, come rest on us. You're all we want. You're all we want. Holy Spirit, come rest on us. You're all we want, Lord. You're all we want. So come down. Spirit, when you move, you make my heart pound. When you fill the room, you're here and I know you're moving. I'm here and I know you will feel me. Come down. Spirit, when you move, you make my heart pound. When you fill the room, you're here and I know you're moving. I'm here and I know you will feel me. I know you will feel me. All right, one more. We'll jump into the message this morning. This is one of my favorites. It's the good part about being the song picking guy, that you get to play all your favorites. It's like all the hits of Jones' playlist. This song just talks about the fact that God is not far away on a mountain or on a hill, but He dwells among us, and we're able to have a relationship with Him, with Jesus, and we're able to know Him and know Him like a friend. And so this song just kind of talks about that. So once you get it down, sing it out. Wanna know you, Lord, like I know a friend. Wanna know you, Lord. Wanna know you, Lord, like I know a friend. Wanna know you, Lord. I'm laying down all my religion. I'm laying down, wanna know you, Lord. I'm laying down all my religion. I'm laying down, wanna know you, Lord. I used to think I could box you in. I'm laying down, wanna know you, Lord. I used to think I could box you in. I'm laying down, wanna know you, Lord. Wanna know you, Lord. Lord, I've been told to be ashamed. Lord, I've been told don't measure up. Lord, I've been told not good enough. You're here with me. Reach out and you find me in the dust. Say no amount of untrue could separate us. I'm reaching out. Reach out and you find me in the dust. Say no amount of untrue could separate us. I will rejoice in the simple gospel. I will rejoice in you, Lord. I will rejoice in the simple gospel. I will rejoice in you, Lord. Reach out and you find me in the dust. They say no amount of untrue could separate us. I reach out. Reach out and you find me in the dust. Say no amount of untrue could separate us. I will rejoice. I will rejoice in the simple gospel. I will rejoice in you, Lord. I will rejoice in the simple gospel. I will rejoice in Amen. You can lift up a shout to the Lord. Have a seat. Warm. How do the people of Texas survive? That's my question. It was like 114 was the normal temperature. I was like, nope. I was born in Alabama. It's hot down there, but man, it's been some kind of blazing up here lately. Friday night, we stayed with our perfect season, 0-8. Yep. That was the last game. We're done for the season. That's what we should clap about. We are done. We only lost 21-6 this last week. We did so good. Nobody got hurt except for Dustin, and he just pulled a muscle because he ran too hard. He was the only one with the in the park home run, I think, for us. He was hustling. Them legs was just a kicking. Happy 4th of July. Glad you made it. Vacation season is upon us. AAA said that over 40 million people will be traveling this weekend. Some of you are in the room with us. But we're glad to have you guys, and we're glad to see that you're here. This morning I want to kind of talk to you, give you some travel advice, keep it lighthearted, and then get us out of here before it gets any hotter, and you can find somewhere cool to spend the rest of your weekend. But I want to give you some travel advice because I don't know if you've kind of seen this or experienced this, but there is always some kind of change that comes in life. I mean, and sometimes it's things that hit you out of the blue, and then sometimes you see change coming from a long way off. A couple of years ago, we had decided we were going to take this great vacation. We were going to the beach. It was going to be amazing. I was so stoked. There is nothing better than that breeze blowing off the water and my feet in the sand and that water just blue. We watched the Weather Channel because I'm a nerd, and you could see like a little storm in the Gulf, and it just kept on churning. It was like the little engine that could. And as it got closer to our vacation, the storm got closer to the coast, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger until it was a full-blown hurricane. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to take kids to the beach in a hurricane. I don't really want to take me to the beach in a hurricane. And so, it's bad. It was red flags all over the place. And so we decided, instead of romantic beach excursion with kids, we would go for second best, Branson. When you look at my itinerary of life, Branson is not up there with the beach, but it was very fun. But all of a sudden, everything changed. All of our plans changed. Our ocean view turned into a heated pool that smelled a little too chlorine-y for me. Everything just got crazy. Seafood that I was going to eat so fresh was just turned into a Eagles cover band. I mean, it was just like a whole different world. And I had to change what I had packed. I couldn't just take, I did anyway because you all know how I dress, but it was still swimming trunks and cut-off T-shirts, but it was not on the beach. It was in Branson. And these changes come at us, and changes in life hit us, and sometimes storms of life come, and they throw us for a loop. We can sometimes see them from way off, but man, there's some things that just happen. There's things that happen in your life and in my life, and it just hits us out of the blue. Maybe you came home one day and you noticed, hey, half of my stuff's not here. Hey, baby, she gone. She packed up while I was at work, and she's gone. Or maybe you went to the doctor, and it was just like that routine medical exam, and you've had it for years and years and years, but this time when it was over, the doctor said, hey, I need you to come sit down. I got to tell you something. And then out of right field, something you never thought would be said to you, you just got a diagnosis. We find ourselves in life looking at these journeys that we're on, and the hard part is sometimes we don't see things coming. But if you're like me, one of the hardest things in life is the fact that life has a rearview mirror. I can look in the rearview mirror of life and look back and go, man, I wish I would have done that differently. And the hardest part about life is life has a rearview mirror, but life does not have a reverse gear.
I can get past something, JC, but I can't go in reverse and then change it. I can look in the rearview mirror of life, say, I wish I would have done this different. I wish I would have handled this different, but I can't put my life in reverse and change it. And so this morning, maybe you're starting to think about, well, where's my vacation going to be? Or this morning, maybe you're just kind of doing the staycation thing and you're just kind of going through the motions of life and you've got great things going on. But I just want to kind of give you some travel advice for life this morning. And it's going to be 5 quick things and we'll talk about them and then we'll go. But if you're a note taker and you want to take some notes, then you can write these down. But these are kind of the practical things I think we all need to know whenever we get in the car and we go on a trip, and also practical things that we need to know in life. The first one is this. If you want to write it down, you can. Don't travel alone. When you're going on a trip, don't travel alone. What I love about the Bible and what I love about God is all the time we open up our word and we read about these stories of people in the Bible. Very few times were they ever alone when they did something. We see so many times in the Bible that when somebody went out to battle, when somebody went out to do something, when somebody was just living their life normally, they didn't do it alone. Even the first man that God created, Adam, he said, you know what, Adam, you don't need to be alone. I'm going to make Eve for you. I mean, it was all kind of a roller coaster from there, but still, he didn't want her to be, or him to be alone. And for me and for you, we have to understand that God doesn't want us to be alone. And so we should not travel alone. And you should not travel alone when you go on trips because, hey, sometimes things get crazy and you need a battle buddy. You need somebody to have your back. But listen, when you pick somebody to travel with, oftentimes in life, we pick people who just accept us. I remember when I first moved here, I didn't know anybody. I went to the high school in Henry County and I was a junior. And my friends, when I got there, were the people who first accepted me. They were the ones that said, hey, my name is, and I said, well, that's cool, my name is, and all of a sudden, they were the first ones to accept me, so they were my friends. They were the ones who said, you can sit by me, instead of like on Forrest Gump when they say, seat's taken, seat's taken. And so oftentimes in our lives, if you think about this, we often gravitate or are drawn to those people who accept us. And we do this a lot whenever we have a life change. If you're going to college, if you're starting to date, if you're starting a new job or a new church or a new school, or you move to a new city, when you walk in, the first people who accept you are the ones that you're probably going to spend that season of life with. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but listen, sometimes the people who accept you first don't always have the same values you do. And this is where we start to have problems, because when we don't share equal values or the same values as the people who are with us, we tend to get into trouble. We tend to find ourselves getting into places where we shouldn't be or doing things that we wouldn't do. And most often you'll say, well, listen, they got the same taste I do. We go to the same restaurants. We like the same music. We're in the same generation. And those are good things to have. It's good to have things in common. But listen, when you're looking for friends and you're looking for somebody to travel with, you need to make sure that they have the same values that you have. When you do life with someone, you want to share the same values, and that way you know what they believe in and what's important to them is important to you. And this doesn't mean that we shun people who don't have the same values as we do. We still love them, but we don't always go on long trips with them. We don't let them in our inner circle. The people who are in our inner circle need to have the same values that we have. Let's look at what the Bible says when it comes to this kind of thing. In Proverbs 13:20, it'll be on the screen. It says, listen, this is how you live. Walk with the wise and become wise. For a companion of fools suffers harm. The Bible says if you walk with the wise, guess what? You'll become wise. It's something like if you hang out with smart people, they rub off on you. That's why I married so smart and so beautiful. Look at me now. I mean, she's rubbed off on me. Every day I'll look in the mirror, I go, I've never been so pretty in my whole life. It must be her. I watch Jeopardy and I answer the questions and I'm like, that's not me. It's her. It's osmosis, I think, at night. I just pull my pillow as close as I can to her. I put my head against her, and it just comes out of her ear and into mine, and I'm just smarter and prettier. But the Bible says, listen, if you walk with the wise, guess what you'll do? You'll become wise. But this is the problem. Like, I usually am not the first set. I'm usually stuck in the second one because I do dumb things sometimes. But it says, if you're a companion of fools, look what it doesn't say. It doesn't say if you're in the companionship of fools or you hang out with fools, you'll be a fool. It doesn't say that. It says what happens to you is you will suffer harm. What you will do is if you hang out with people who do dumb things, you'll get stuck in the wake of it. You'll suffer through the decisions that they make. This is why when we pick our friends to go on a trip with, when we travel, when we're getting our travel buddy, the people who are in our inner circle, it's why it's so important to make sure that we connect ourselves to folks who have the same values as us and the same vision, going toward the same destination that we are. So number one is don't travel alone. Number two, very important, don't pick up strangers. Girls, if there's some good-looking guy with a guitar on his back walking the 4-lane, Sam, don't pick him up. You never know. We do not pick up hitchhikers. Lord, help them. I want to help them, but I do not want to get them in my car because you never know. When you pick up a stranger, you never know what you're going to get. I will define stranger for you today. Stranger is a person who is strange. Smart and pretty. That's what I got going for me. A person who is strange, a person who is different than you and different than what you believe, who you are, and what you do. And so we say, listen, this is how we roll. We don't pick up strangers. We don't let them in our inner circle. It doesn't mean we don't talk to them. It just means that we don't let them on the inside of our life. I heard a guy talking on a podcast one day. He was talking about how his mother had never met a stranger in her whole life. She talked to everybody. I mean, people at the grocery store, people at the gas station. There was no one she would not introduce herself to and just tell them everything about her and listen to everything about them and just love them and just never met a stranger. Until one day, she was going to fly from the East Coast to the West Coast. And on the trip, she sat next to this big biker guy. Not that there's anything wrong with that at all, but he had been drinking a bunch. And the mom said when she got home from the trip, she said, listen, I have met a stranger. And that was where she left it. He was like, she couldn't even tell us what happened because it was so crazy. We're kind to strangers. We're gentle to everyone, gentle to strangers, compassionate to them. But we have to be very careful who we let in our vehicle as we're driving through life because strangers are going to come along, and we have to be very careful on the influence that we give them. In that Proverbs line, it says, listen, if you walk with the wise, you become wise. But if you become the companion of fools, you're going to suffer harm. And so we have to be very, very careful in who we let in our car, who we let in our inner circle. Because oftentimes what will happen is if you let a stranger in your life who doesn't share your values, you will become unhealthy. It says you'll suffer harm. You'll become unhealthy because what strangers do is they come in, they dismiss your values. Or maybe you let a stranger into your life and they start to chip away at your values. Things that you said, oh, I'll never do this, but all of a sudden, every little step, they just kind of chip away at what you said was important to you. Or they just dismiss your values altogether. You'll say, well, I would never do that. They go, well, you're dumb. You should try it. It would make you so much happier. You would be so much stronger. You would be so much happier in the end. And so for us, it's really hard to do this, but sometimes we have to drop off the strangers in our life who have gotten on the inside but are messing us up. Listen, God can handle a stranger, but for some of you, you can't. Sometimes the ones that worry me the most are single moms. Single moms are in a very big place in their life for influence, watching a kid and trying to do, what moms do and trying to get out there and date. And if you let a lot of strangers into your life, what's going to happen is they're going to chip away at you because they don't have the same values you do, the same values that you're trying to pass on to your kids. And so you have to be very careful. One of the hardest things to do in this life is to end a relationship or drop off a stranger. And so if you're looking for them on the side of the road in your life before you ever let them in the car, you say, nope, I'll be your friend, but I'm not letting you in the inner circle. Stranger danger. And so this morning, I want you to know, listen, don't pick up strangers on your vacation. Number 3, you got to pick a destination and you need to read the reviews. You got to pick your destination. You got to read the reviews. Everybody wants to end up somewhere. In life, everybody wants to end up somewhere. And the crazy thing is you always end up somewhere. If you're going through lifetime and going, I don't really care, you're going to end up somewhere even if you don't care. We all are going to a destination, and the important thing for me and for you to do is to pick where we're going. Now, some things in life we don't get to choose. Like we know Lucy's going to first grade. Go, Lucy, go. She's going to first grade. We know she's going to Henry. Those are things that we don't get to pick. We know what time, I don't know what time, but school is going to start every Monday through Friday, sometime before 8, so early. And we're going to need to get there and pick her up from Kids Club by 4:30-ish. I mean, those are destinations for Lucy that are kind of just set in stone. But it's the destinations that we get to pick are the important things that we need to pay attention to. Who you're going to spend your life with, what you're going to do for a job, where you're going to go to church, what city you're going to live in. All of these things are so important, and you need to choose your destination because, hey, you're going to have to pick anyway. The crazy thing about life is, and I just learned this, I'm 40 now, I'm going to be 41. Holy moly, I'm getting old. I thought I was always going to be 20. And then 30 came, and I was like, man, I need to start looking into my retirement fund. And I always thought I was going to be 30 until this past year, something crazy happened and I got a 4 in the beginning. I mean, we're all getting older and we're all going toward a different destination and we're all going through different seasons where it's 20s or 30s or 40s or 60s or 70s. And the thing is we have to pick where we're going to end up. Where do we want to arrive at? Where do we want to go? And the second part of this one is you pick your destination, but also it's very important to read the reviews. One of the greatest things you can do is find somebody who is wiser than you, who have gone through things that you're about to go through, and talk to them about what they've seen and what they've done. Now, there's this app on a phone. Your phone might have it. There's this app called Airbnb. It's probably a website. It's a website too. But you can go on there and you can pick your destination. And somebody will rent you a room from their home, and you can stay in their house. And one time, we decided we were going to do this. We were going to Memphis. We were going to have the best time ever. We were going to go to a ball game. It was going to be fantastic. And we were going to rent this Airbnb. And I saw the pictures of it. It didn't look like we were going to get murdered. It was nice. It had a little kitchen and a bathroom and a bed, and you could see next to the bed there was an air conditioner, which I love. And it was August, hot. And so I thought, this is going to be perfect. But we didn't read the reviews. We picked the destination fine, but we didn't read the reviews. Because in August, in Memphis, it's hot. And if you're in this home that they're renting this room to you, when you got there, you figured out, hey, we go upstairs. And we're essentially sleeping in their finished attic, which is closer to the sun. And hey, baby, it got hot. That little air conditioner, Sam, was just and it was just a blowing cold air out. But as soon as it hit the world, it was gone. And I mean, I got in there, and me and Becky got in there, and she was like, it's a little warm in here. And I laid down on the bed and just started sweating, and I was like, oh, no. We didn't read the reviews. Because people would told you in the reviews, hey, you're in their attic. It gets warm. It's clean. You're not going to get murdered. But it'll be 120 degrees if you take an evening nap. You got to read the reviews. And in life, we have people around us who can say, listen, I've been through that and I messed that up. This is what you need to do. This is what you don't need to do. So if you're like a I don't know, just think about what season you're in right now. Maybe you're an empty nester. Your kids are finally out of the house, and you're like, what do we me and my wife, we finally got our kids out of the house, and now what do we do? Because usually we were going to ball games, and we were going to this, and we were going to that, and now when we get up, we just sit there and look at each other at the table, and you're like, oh, you're here again. And so if you're going through different seasons in your life, maybe you're an empty nester, maybe you're getting ready to go to school, maybe you're starting a new job. There are people around you who have been through the same things you are going through, and they can help to tell you, hey, this is a good thing, or this is a bad thing. Proverbs 19:20 says it like this. It says, listen to the advice and accept discipline, and at the end of the life, or end of your life, you will be counted among the wise. And so what we have to do is we have to go out, we listen to advice, we accept discipline, or maybe we just get discipline. We learn, hey, I need to be up at this time, I need to go to bed at this time, whatever it is. But when we accept and learn and listen from others, we, at the end of our life, will be counted as wise. So your third thing is choose a destination, listen to the other reviews. Number 4, if you're on your trip, you got to pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to the signs. Road signs give us direction. They also give us protection. There's nothing better than getting up on Mount Eagle between Chattanooga and Murfreesboro. You go up this huge mountain, and when you start going down the mountain, it tells you, hey, you better slow down. Because if you're in an 18-wheeler, you'll be doing 200 miles an hour when you get to the bottom of that hill. I mean, signs are so important. Road signs tell you, hey, dummy, you're about to wreck if you don't slow down in this curve. You're going to get killed, or you're going to kill somebody. Signs are so important. The problem for me is I don't sometimes see the dummy in the mirror who tells myself those signs are for somebody else. They're not for me. Proverbs 22:3 says it like this. The prudent, the smart, the wise, they see danger and they take refuge. They see danger and they make changes. But the simple or the naive or the unwise, they see it, but they just keep on going. And what happens is they pay the penalty. When it comes to signs, we have to pay attention to where we're going because we don't want to have to pay the price. And so often the sign that we ignore the most is the sign in our relationships. Most of the times we think, you know what, I don't need this to happen. I don't need to have this conversation. I can fix my router. I can reboot my computer. I can change my oil. I can change a flat tire. But listen, I don't really know how to work a relationship very well. And we'll see signs in our relationships that say, hey, this needs attention. But what do? We just keep on kind of moving on. Me and Becky were watching a movie, and this wife was talking about, me and my husband, we have the best communication. And she had done something really stupid, and that next morning, he was standing at the door, and they were both just looking at each other and not saying anything. She had talked about how great their communication was, and he had his hand on the handle, and he's looking at her, and he's like, what? Did you say something? And she was like, no. And they just had that awkward pause where you know, hey, we should be communicating, but they didn't. And he just walked out. It was funny, but it wasn't, because I'd done that too. Where you know, hey, there's a sign here that we should talk about this, but I'm just going to keep on moving. The Bible says that the wise, they see the signs and they do something about it. But listen, if you want to be simple or you want to be naive, you just keep on going. But the Bible says, listen, there's going to be a problem and you're going to end up paying for it. And the biggest problem with this is if you're in a family, you know that if you don't take care of or see the signs or make changes, you're not the only one that's going to pay for it. But if you're in a family, usually the kids do, or your spouse does. It's not just you that has the problem, it's everybody. And so we have to be wise, we see the signs, and we change directions. So number 4 is read the signs. Last one, and then we're done. Number 5 is don't carry unnecessary baggage. When we got married so many years ago, me and Becky, we didn't have kids. When she finally got out of school and we both had jobs, we had just a little bit of money. We could go places, we could drive places and stay somewhere. And if we were going to go somewhere, Shelly, we would pack a bag. And I mean, Becky could get a duffel bag and be ready to go. And I could have a duffel bag. Mine was a little bit bigger because she never packed cords. She has a phone, but she didn't need to charge it when we were on vacation because she knew Jamie's got it. Or a toothbrush. And so my bag would be a little bit bigger because I would pack all of the necessary things that she was like, oh, we'll be good. We got it. But when we were young and we were just first married, when we went on trip, we didn't take any unnecessary baggage. It was just like changes of clothes, a couple shoes, and we were gone. Hey, baby, it's time to have some fun. And then Lucy came along. And our little bitty Mini Cooper did not have the room to be able to put a jungle gym and a walker and a stroller and a pack and play and 27 outfits. And Lord, it was just like, well, we're going to have to get a bus. And then Bo came along and I was like, well, they got this thing on the internet called a staycation. So maybe we should try this out. We went to Disney last month and I was just like, this car's not big enough. I mean, it was just packed. It was, you don't need a rear view mirror in that vehicle because you ain't gonna see nothing but baggage. I mean, it was just packed in there. And when we got there, it was like we parked in the parking lot and then there was a pretty good walk to get to the hotel room and we were on the 3rd floor. And I was like a pack mule, just loaded on my back. Hey, Florida's hot too. Muggy, I was just packing it all out there and getting it into the room. And once I got like 3 loads of stuff into the hotel room, I started to notice, man, we have brought some things we didn't really need. I brought a stroller when they rented us one. We don't have 3 children. We rented a double stroller. I also had an extra. Tried to get Becky to push all of us. I was like, I can fit in this stroller. You can push all 3 of us. I'm hot. I'm a man, and it's sad. But sometimes we get all of this unnecessary baggage when we travel. I'll bring like 9 iPhone chargers. We have 2 phones. And in life, it seems like sometimes we will have something that happens to us that's bad, that we didn't plan on and we didn't do to ourselves. Somebody did something wrong to us. They neglected us. They were mean to us. They left us, whatever it is. What happens is that kind of baggage just attaches itself to you. You're thinking, hey, I'm going to travel in this life that God's given me, in this life that I want to have, and I'm going to just have fun and things are going to be great. But then the past kind of sneaks up on us sometimes and it just kind of attaches itself to us. If we don't work on it, if we don't talk about it, if we don't go through those emotions, what will happen is it will start to gain power over us. And the past often can empower itself enough to start to determine what your future is going to be. Well, I can't really do that because it didn't turn out great before. I don't want to trust him because some other guy had hurt me in the past. I don't want to trust her because she left. Baggage builds up, and in life, if we don't unpack it, we just start to have it collapse on top of us. And so for many of us, we have to unpack these things that happen to us, and if we don't, then it'll just complicate our journeys. And when your journey gets complicated, then the first thing that you and I do when things don't go our way is we get angry. Becky will tell you, when traffic hits and I don't know where to go and everything's just terrible, I'll just get angry. Or if you're sophisticated, you don't say angry. You say frustrated. I'm feeling very frustrated, which is the fancy word for angry. It's the same thing. But when we don't get our way and we don't get the things we want to happen and the past builds up and we've got all of this extra baggage on us that we're carrying that's unnecessary, we'll get angry and sometimes we don't even know why. But it'll just start to add up. One pastor puts it this way. He said, it's kind of like you have demons in your basement and they're lifting weights. He said, if you don't unpack the baggage, the unnecessary things that you carry through life, the things that's happened to you in the past, those things become like demons in a basement. They just start lifting weights. And what he's saying is you don't see them. They're down there. They're quiet in the basement. But what they're doing is they're getting stronger and stronger every day. They're just lifting weights. They're getting muscles. They're getting stronger. And then one day, you look, and in the bag that you're carrying through life, you have got a muscle demon in it. You picked up this thing from the past, and you haven't unpacked it, and so now you're stuck. Paul writes to the Ephesians in chapter 4, he says it like this. He says, in your anger, do not sin. Don't let the sun go down while you're still angry. Do not give the devil a foothold. If you don't unpack the things that's happened to you in the past, the things that hurt, the things that have messed you up, if you just kind of say, well, I'm just going to keep on pushing forward, I'm not going to let it bother me, what'll happen is it'll grow stronger and stronger until one day it either makes you angry, or maybe it's not anger. Maybe you drink. Or maybe you take pills. Or maybe you work 80 hours a week because you don't want to be at home, or you don't want to be in town, or you don't want to be around those folks, or you don't want to do this or do that. Maybe it's not anger. Maybe it's something else. But listen, if you don't unpack those bags, then you're not free. You're carrying it. And if you're married, you got kids, the problem with this is while you're carrying this bag that you think is just yours, they also have their hand on the strap, and they're having to carry it. They're having to carry it too. And so for all of us, we have to take this time to say, you know what, I'm kicking these demons out of this bag. What was done to me in the past, maybe I had a hand in it, maybe it wasn't me. But listen, I've got to forgive. I've got to let myself off the hook, and I've got to go forward. Because if I don't, the weight will eventually make me bitter, make me angry, make me fill in the blank. And so this is your travel advice. This is your travel advice. So that when you get in the car next week or the week after and you're like, hey, we're going on this trip, you can tell yourself, hey, don't travel alone. Don't pick up strangers. I need to pick a destination. I need to listen to the reviews of others. I need to pay attention to the signs. Because the sign will tell me, hey, you need to go this way. If I'm going to South Carolina and I start driving west, I'm never going to get there. I'm just going to hit California. So we pay attention to the signs. And then the fifth thing is we don't carry unnecessary baggage. And so those are your travel points. I hope you can use them. I hope that your vacation travel and your life travel gets a little bit more simple and a little bit easier. And I think that if we use this advice, that we'll get to our destination that we pick, and we might actually get there on time. And so this morning, I want to pray for you, and then we're going to get out of here. And you guys be safe and watch fireworks and don't touch them. And we'll be here Wednesday at 6:30 for Wednesday night. We got classes for everybody's age and gender. And then we'll be here Sunday morning next week, 10 o'clock for Sunday school or big church that you're in now. That starts at 11. Vacation Bible schools this week. Not this week. It's the last week. The last week of July. Whew. Everybody got nervous. Vacation Bible School is the last week in July. If you want to sign up for that, the sheet's gone, but one of the softball girls will be back there and you can talk to them. If you got empty toilet paper rolls or paper towel rolls, bring those in. We're using those for Vacation Bible School. Jones, anything else? No? Okay. If you'll stand, make sure the person next to you is awake. Wake them up. Hey, tell them, hey, baby, they're done. We're fixing to go eat.